Yo, 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 we are live, baby! Yes, sir. Alright.
Keep the change, you filthy animal.
Alright, we're good. We're good. Let's go ahead and kill 8-bit hits there. And let's start the music. Alright, cool. Chat feed's working. Let's make sure my buttons are working. Alright, cool. Awesome. Alright. Time to relax a bit. Yes, sir. Wait, you need to snuggle up with me, girl. Come on now. You're trouble. What else did I need to do today? I guess I'll just catch some fish. Can't really do much in the winter. I don't feel like exploring. I'll just catch some fish and oh, motherfucking bitch. Don't you forget about. Go clean this damn water up. Fuck. Not trying to. Damn it. Still all kinds of shit. Oh man, that feels good. Let's see. See my boy BC.
That's how we do it on the farm. Barbecue Pringles.
All I can say is that was not Vince McMahon's WWE that I watched last night at the Royal Rumble. That looked like a company that was being ran by Triple H. The right decisions were being made. Stories were actually being told. Booking was actually creative and on point last night.
Actually made
So,
sense.
was Vince McMahon kidnapped? Do we get him back by WrestleMania, or do they hold him hostage till after WrestleMania? Was he just unable to make the show? Who knows? Maybe he was there and just letting other people call the shots. But that was not Vince's WWE, man. I went in there with zero expectations. I was hoping that we get a little bit of entertainment. Obviously nothing that NXT brought the night before, but something I would take. And when it went off the air, man, goosebumps. It was actually a kick-ass pay-per-view special event. This is the good, the bad, and the ugly. But I don't need no board like we usually do. Usually I have the good, the bad, and the ugly board. And I separate it into sections and we go match by match. And we tally up the good, the bad, and the ugly at the end. The thing is here, guys, that event was so kick-ass last night that I'm not going to nitpick bad and ugly in this event. Because to me, there was no ugly in bad. The superstars went out there, male and female, and they kicked ass. Was there shit that I would have liked more of? Shit that I would have done differently? Of course.
Bruh!
But beggars can't be choosers. With the WWE that we've had the last 10 to 15 years especially. Get that event last night.
Damn.
I'm blown away. Here we are the next morning. I'll get to the 2 Rumble matches, which over-exceeded any expectation I ever had last night. I'll get to them in a few minutes. One Royal Rumble match far outweighed the other. It might not be the one that you were expecting me to say. But I'll get to the Rumble matches in just a bit, and I'll get to the Heavyweight Championship matches in a bit. I want to start off with the Tag Team Championships. Let's start with the Usos and Gable and Benjamin. This match, run-of-the-mill. Nothing epic, nothing special at all. In fact, it was awkward and kind of odd, and if I did want to nitpick, I could easily put this in the bad category. But I won't, because what should have happened in the end. The Usos picked up the W. In fact, it was a best of 3 falls match. They picked up 2 falls together, back to back. Not only did they not let Gable and Benjamin even pick up a fall, but they picked up 2 falls back to back. Like within 2 minutes of each other. And the Usos walked to the back with the win and their straps. And Gable and Benjamin stand in the middle of the ring, defeated, and hopefully not together for much longer. You guys saw my amplified preview video that I put out just 2 days ago, that I do not feel Gable needs to be being tied down to or from Shelton Benjamin. Benjamin can still go in that ring. Give him a singles push, let him put over the younger talent, or give him a singles run. That's fine. But Chad Gable, at this point in his career, is too damn good to be tied down in a tag team. And I feel that their time is up. It's over. Break up Benjamin and Gable. Let them go their own way. Throwing tag straps on them, not what I wanted to see at all. They gave it to the Usos. That's what should be being done. Usos go into WrestleMania. They've had the tag straps this long anyway. Let them go into WrestleMania defending those straps. Gable and Benjamin, call it quits on this. They have to break up ASAP.
Yes, sir.
Flip side, with the Raw tag teams. So, with...
God, I hate ads.
They have Jason Jordan and Seth Rollins dropped the tag straps to the bar last night. Cesaro, Sheamus, new tag team champions of the world again. Much like Gable and Benjamin, I don't want to see Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan as a tag team. Jason Jordan is holding Seth Rollins down. The reaction that Seth Rollins gets ever since he's been with Jason Jordan has been diminished. The star value of Seth Rollins since he's been with Jason Jordan has been diminished. Break them up. Not only are they not getting over with the crowd, but now you're holding back Seth Rollins. They need to break apart. Whatever you're going to do with Jason Jordan, let it roll. Whatever you're going to do with Seth Rollins, let him skyrocket. The straps needed to go back to the bar. The bar goes to WrestleMania with the straps and loses to a big hot face team at Mania. That's the way it should have happened. It did happen that way last night. So I'm happy about the outcome. Would I have gone about it differently? Would I have told a different story than they told? Without question. But at least both stories are being told. The bar has the straps, they'll be going to WrestleMania to defend them. And the second story that was told is that Shelton Benjamin was pouting and crying like a little baby on the steps last night about his little head injury, while Seth Rollins basically took on two participants in that tag team, both Sheamus and Cesaro. So hopefully starting tonight, this will start the tension between Rollins and Jordan. And we can start the process at least to break them apart. So that story began last night because Jason Jordan didn't really do a lot last night. He just held his head and pouted like a baby on the steps, like you would if you were 4 years old. Let Seth Rollins continue that tonight and demand an explanation. And even I'll go with the turn tonight. Jason Jordan turns on Rollins, or Rollins says, fuck you, get out of here, get out of my life, get out of my tag team, I don't want to see you in my locker room. This is over. So I like that. That's where it was at least started last night. So those were the tag team championship matches. Nothing at all epic, nothing special. I would have done a lot more, but what needed to be told was told. And in the end, that's all you can ask for. If some schmaz happened and you have some weird thing going into Mania season, man, that would not have sat well with me, and I would have had to break out the board and start marking out the bads. Maybe even some uglies. But they were just run-of-the-mill tag teams, nothing special. But we kind of know why. They didn't want to overbook this event because they had a lot in store for those women. Moving on to the Heavyweight Championship. That actually kicked off the Royal Rumble. AJ Styles versus Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Now in this match, just like the tag matches, it was run-of-the-mill. Nothing special, nothing epic. I don't even need epic. Give me a little something special, right? It's a Heavyweight Championship match. It's bad enough they put them on first, but we kind of know why. They needed to separate some of the big-time matches. And they had a SmackDown Superstar winning the Men's Royal Rumble, so you're gonna throw Raw a bone, and you're gonna put the Heavyweight Championship on first. I understand that, but it's bad enough you have it on first. You're gonna have to really put the electricity into the crowd. The first match of the night always has to put the electricity into the crowd. The first 7 to 10 minutes of this match, straight up, guys, was not putting any electricity in the crowd. Definitely not at home with me. Probably not with a lot of you guys. It was slow, drawn out. It was just move for move, spot for spot. It was just not captivating me at all. And for Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, and AJ Styles to be in the same ring together, I was expecting a lot more. Now, the last 4 or 5 minutes absolutely started to deliver. But by that point, I was kind of checked out of the match. In the ending, nothing superb at all. There was a missed tag, and they're going to play the storyline out that AJ Styles actually pinned the wrong guy because there was never actually a tag. Kevin Owens got in. AJ Styles picked up the win over the wrong guy, apparently. Or at least that's the story they're going to tell.
Men, women, dilly-dilly!
Dilly-dilly!
Sure, we may be outnumbered.
So, I understand the schmozziness in it, and they didn't want Owens or Zayn to lose outright because AJ Styles shouldn't be beating.
Appreciate that retweet.
I expected something more, something a little more unique, something more special. With a match that did not live up to expectations for me, and then on top of that, it was a schmozziness at the end that was not cool, not unique, not fun. It left a lot more to be desired. That's all I'll say. And then on top of that, Shane McMahon, Daniel Bryan, they didn't really continue their story. I thought they would be a huge focal point in this. If they weren't. After the match, Owens and Zayn just went to Shane McMahon and begged and pleaded that they had given them another shot at the title because they were screwed by the referee. And Shane McMahon just said, "Did I see what just happened?" "Yep." And he walked away. Later in the night, I forgot if maybe it was after one of the Royal Rumble matches, I think it was when Shinsuke ended up winning, Daniel Bryan and Shane McMahon were actually yesing together and celebrating in the back. So this screams to me, guys, that at WrestleMania, you're going to see Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens versus Shane McMahon, Daniel Bryan. It looks like Daniel Bryan is no longer going to go with Owens and Zayn. That's going to piss off Owens and Zayn, maybe even attack Daniel Bryan. And this is going to set up an epic tag match with Owens and Zayn versus Daniel Bryan, Shane McMahon. That's what it looks like to me. And if that's the case, take my money. I'll be there for a WrestleMania match. That seems badass. And we get Daniel Bryan back, and you guys know I love when Shane McMahon competes. I think they'll put on a hell of a show and beat the shit out of each other. But that, again, was a heavyweight championship match that, to me, left more to be desired, did not really live up to any expectations. Again, I didn't go into the Rumble with any, but I did have high hopes for that match. And I just don't feel it lived up to it. The other match for the championship, the Universal strap, Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman, Kane, also didn't live up to any hopes that I had. And left more to be desired. Now, at least they went out there and they had a car crash. They were going through tables, inside the ring and outside the ring. When it all was said and done, it was exactly what we thought it was going to be. Kane was in this match to do the deed to Brock, so Braun didn't have to. How can we make Lesnar keep his strap, but not have Braun Strowman be the one that gets beat by Brock, the one that looks weak against Brock? So they threw Kane in there. None of us really knew why, but we kind of had that suspicion, right? Well, that suspicion was reality. Kane was in there to do the job. 1, 2, 3, F5, maybe I think it was on a chair, and Brock Lesnar picks up the W. And as Brock is going to the back, Braun Strowman is screaming, "You never pinned me." So this is a simplistic storyline, but I did want more. Even though simplistic can be good at times, I wanted a little more. Don't dumb it down to the point where it's to that point. Give me a better story. This is Brock. This is your head championship, your lead championship, your universal strap. And you just had it that run of the mill. Brock Kane, Braun is telling Brock, "You never paid me." That's third grader booking. So, again, didn't live up to the hopes that I had for it.
I guess I'll use the winners.
So right off the bat, those 4 championship matches, the 2 tag straps in both heavyweight championship matches, left more to be desired. Nothing epic, nothing special. Again, if this was any other event and the epicness to come didn't come, that would be in bad categories and ugly categories.
Hold on. Hey, girls. Oh, shit. Damn, girl, hold up. Made me a gift and shit. Hold on, I'm gonna put that in the highs. Put that in the highs. Oh, shit, bro. Yeah. Yeah. Got a gift from my Chica.
Because everything that should have happened happened.
Almost.
And the epicness was still to come, so they didn't want to overbook these matches. I'll leave it all in the good column, guys. Brock kept his championship. I honestly feel that's what should have happened. I said that on my Amplified preview video. Also, AJ Styles should have kept his strap. I said that in my Amplified preview video. Usos keep their straps. Sheamus and Cesaro pick up the straps. All of what happened in my preview video that I said needed to happen, happened. So I am totally fine with all of those tag strap and universal heavyweight strap holders going into WrestleMania with all of those straps. The epicness was to come is what I said, right? Well, let's start off with the Royal Rumble for the men. This match, run-of-the-mill for the most part, with good spots in between. For instance, Heath Slater getting knocked out from the point he got on. Who was it? I forgot who clotheslined him first. Somebody was pissed. I think it was Baron Corbin, because when Baron Corbin got eliminated, he started beating the shit out of everyone else. And on his way up, I think it was Heath Slater coming down, he clotheslined Heath Slater. But what happened was, for the next 5 to 7 spots, an entrance, nobody would let Heath Slater in. Every time a new person would come down, they'd beat the shit out of Heath Slater. To the point where finally Heath Slater went in. He eliminated one of the big boys, I believe it was. Heath Slater took out one big boy, but then the very next time he turned around, he was eliminated. But I love what they did with Heath Slater. I love what they did with Kofi Kingston, bringing back some of that fun that Kofi Kingston brings to the Royal Rumble. Remember, I said in yesterday's video, I used to see Kofi Kingston use the chair as a pogo stick. I used to see Kofi Kingston walk the barricade and jump back on the steps to get back in the ring. And last night, he actually used Kofi Kingston's chest to hold up one of his feet, and then all of a sudden, Big E brought in the plate of pancakes. He put the plate of pancakes underneath Kofi's foot, and Kofi just kind of hopped around until he got back into the ring. Or no, he hopped around until Big E and Xavier actually just amplified him. They both put his foot under their hands, and they just shot pulled this motherfucker over somebody's head. He got back in the ring because of like the shoot up from the air from Xavier Woods and Big E. It was epic.
Amazing.
Unlike anything I've ever seen before. But then again, it's Kofi Kingston. That's what he does. So Xavier and Big E helped Kofi Kingston get back in the ring. He was soon eliminated, like within a minute later. But it was still really cool to see Kofi Kingston catapulted like that. That's the word I wanted, guys. Not shot pulled, catapulted back into the ring by Big E and Xavier. So the New Day definitely left their presence as well. More importantly, Kofi Kingston. So that was a cool spot. You had the surprise entrance, run-of-the-mill for me, nothing really epic, but cool, I guess, right? You had Shane Helms, the Hurricane. That was really cool because, not really cool, I ain't gonna lie. I mean, I would have booked better, but it was at least cool to see the Hurricane and have his old gimmick back. He was eliminated in just a couple of minutes, but on his way back, he was still doing his whole mannerisms and the whole Hurricane gimmick. So I guess it was sort of cool, right? You had Rey Mysterio. I've never been a huge Rey Mysterio fan, but I know a lot of people love Rey Mysterio, A, and B, and perhaps more importantly, Rey Mysterio was a big part of the Royal Rumble. He had one appearance in the Rumble that was, I believe it was like the longest time anybody was ever in the Rumble. He ended up winning it too, from the #1 entrant, something like that. So he holds a special place in the Royal Rumble. And so it was cool for him to come back and make that appearance and do as good as he did. It was really cool to see Rey Mysterio in there.
Motherfucker.
You had Andrade Almas from NXT, the champion, in there. That was really cool to see because you guys know from yesterday's video, I thought he put on the match in professional wrestling's history last night, on Saturday night, with Johnny Gargano. So to see Almas show up, the NXT champion, in the Royal Rumble, man, that was an epic pop from me. I was marking the fuck out. And then you also had from NXT, Adam Cole. When Shock the System came up on the Tron, man, Philly knew what that meant. So there was some cool surprise entrance and, you know, people from the past. I was expecting a little more, but again, I now know why. All the epicness was coming into the Women's Royal Rumble. So I was okay with that. Besides, the real story that was epic in this Royal Rumble match for the men was the Final Four. You had Finn Balor, Shinsuke Nakamura on one side. On the other side, John Cena and Roman Reigns. You couldn't ask for a better story to be told. You had every emotion in the world going through you. Am I correct as a wrestling fan? I know Philly did. I was gauging them. I didn't even need to gauge myself. I was fucking batshit fucking crazy wall to wall. I was like, oh fuck, man, where is Vince going with this? Because, again, I'll say this again. On one side, Shinsuke and Balor. On the other side, Cena and Reigns.
America's pipelines bring American energy to American families. Light to our homes, heat to our schools, hope to our communities. Pipelines help power our lives, yet we seldom see them. There are pipelines here and here, moving natural gas and fuel safely by using the technology of tomorrow.
I need to make some copper ore.
Because energy workers are our neighbors. Our safety is their safety. Pipelines are an environmentally friendly and safe way to move the energy that helps America's heartbeat.
On one side, it's everybody the fans love and want to see, right? Shinsuke getting the big push. Finn Balor finally getting his big push. But on the other side, it's Vince McMahon's corporate team. The ones that he wants. The Cena and the Reigns. And you're thinking, wow, does Vince really say fuck you to Philly and everyone? And I honestly was thinking to myself, if he honestly does this with Roman Reigns, and I have no hate to Roman Reigns, guys. I'm not one of those Roman Reigns haters. I'm not a big fan, not even a fan, really. But I'm not a hater of Roman. But I honestly thought to myself, if Vince has Roman win this, that's career suicide for Roman. There's no coming back from that ever as a face. Because that is the ultimate fuck you. Philadelphia, of all places, are just asking you to do one thing. Not Roman. Although I have to say, they were booing Cena so fucking loud that I think if Cena fucking won too, they would riot. But Roman was the big one, man. Like, and there was times where I was thinking, wow. I know that even on this channel, I reported to you guys over a month ago, around a month ago, that it was Shinsuke Nakamura that was going to win this thing. You never know with Vince McMahon. So on one side you had Cena and Roman, on the other side you had Nakamura and Balor, and you said, wow, this could not be better storytelling. What way does Vince McMahon go? Does he screw Philly and every pro wrestling fan who wants to see a push with one of these up-and-coming talents? Or does he go with one of these up-and-coming talents? Does Shinsuke Nakamura rock the foundation of pro wrestling? And they went at it, man. And John Cena at one point eliminated Finn Balor. Much to the dismay of Philly, loud boos rained down on John Cena because you saw one of the corporate puppet guys of Cena, right? That's what people think. The golden shovel guys, they call them. Eliminate one of the up-and-comers in Balor, man. Now it's just Shinsuke and Cena versus Cena and Roman. And I say versus because Cena looked at Reigns, Reigns looked at Cena, and they began to beat down Shinsuke Nakamura. Perfect storytelling. Philly knew what was going on. I knew what was going on. You all knew what was going on. The corporate guys are beating the shit out of the guy the fans want to see win. So you didn't know which way they were really going to go. The story was told perfectly. Till Cena was out. Cena gets eliminated, and now your blood pressure's really going, man. We're all about to have a fucking heart attack. Anxiety is through the roof. Every emotion you can think, you're going through it. Where are they going with this? Nakamura or Reigns? When it was all said and done, Shinsuke Nakamura eliminates Roman Reigns and becomes the 2018 Royal Rumble winner for the men, man. Shinsuke Nakamura. Just like we reported all along, but you never know with Vince. What an epic moment for Philadelphia, for pro wrestling fans, and more importantly, for Shinsuke Nakamura. They asked him right out of the gate, right after he won the match. Renee Young got in the ring and said, who do you want to face? And he said, AJ Styles. We get the dream match, guys. Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles at WrestleMania. What I've been saying on this channel for a full year now, should happen, is happening. Would have loved to see Daniel Bryan versus AJ Styles. Would have loved to see Johnny Wrestling versus AJ Styles. But sit back and honestly enjoy what you're going to see at WrestleMania, guys. Shinsuke Nakamura versus AJ Styles is going to tear it off. The whole roof, is there a roof? Where are they going? New Orleans. Mercedes-Benz, they technically have a roof. They'll be blown off, man. AJ Styles, if they give him the right time, if they give them enough time and let them do what they are capable of doing, all you guys have to do on YouTube, Google AJ Styles Nakamura from New Japan Pro Wrestling. You see that highlights video? Yeah, that's what they're going to do, and maybe even then some. If they give them the time of day and they let them roll with it. Styles Nakamura, it's official. It's going to happen at WrestleMania. Cannot fucking wait. What a Rumble ending. So again, the match itself left more to be desired, but the ending to that Men's Royal Rumble match, the story could not have been told more beautiful, more epically. Brilliant. And then, guys, then it was the women.
That's how we do it on the farm.
Barbecue Pringles? Pizza Pringles.
You made barbecue pizza.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow. Add a jalapeno.
Spicy barbecue pizza.
Wow.
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 Wow, you can stack different flavors? Nobody
You begin with this. There were so many ways that people thought you could fuck this up. It was going to be sloppy. It was going to be messy. They have no business even having a Rumble match. These are things that I heard people say, I saw people write down. The women are gonna fuck it all up. This is gonna be a disgrace. For years, the Royal Rumble has been one match for the men. What are they possibly gonna do that's gonna make us give a shit? Are they gonna be able to go over the top rope? Fine. We've seen men not be able to go over the top rope. This is going to be messy as fuck. But on this channel, you guys know that I was giving them the chance from the beginning. And I said that there's enough talent in there to do really good shit. And I said there's enough positions to bring in NXT surprise entrants and entrants from the past. Past superstars. If you sprinkle them in, you guys go back to the Amplified preview video when I told you guys, if you sprinkle in the surprise entrants perfectly placed and you have good storytelling with the remaining entrants, current day roster, if you do everything perfectly and they go out there and they give 110%, this could actually be a good match. Never in a million years did I think they would put them on last, guys. The women were the main event. I still can't fathom that this very morning. I'm glad they did it, and now I know why they did it, because they also believe in all these females. I don't know if I would have taken that chance, but they did it, and boy did it fucking pay off. I gotta be honest with you, that first Royal Rumble match took everything out of me. Final Four, with Reigns, Cena, and Balor and Nakamura, basically, again, on different sides of each other. All my emotions were gone. I felt bad for the women at first. I was like, there's no way I can garner as much as I did for the men. It's just not going to happen. And I started to think maybe that's what Vince was thinking. Like, all the emotion and all the excitement was going to be for the men, and then we'll put the women on last because we don't want to flip-flop it. We don't want the men, for that match, the fans to be drained. So I was starting to see, like, maybe the women are kind of getting screwed here, and Vince knows they might not fucking put on a great show, the fans aren't going to really be in it. But from the opening fucking entrant, when Sasha Banks' music hit, she was entrant number 1. I had a calm come over me, and a renowned excitement at the same time. A calm and an all-time excitement hit me, a new wave of fucking enthrallingness came over me. Intrigue came over me. Because I knew we were in good hands, man. Stephanie McMahon was out there at commentary. She had this calming voice instead of her yelling voice. It was nice and calming. I just had this moment of realization, like, I think we're gonna see some cool shit, man. I don't know why I jumped to that conclusion right when I saw Sasha as number 1, but I just said, I think we're gonna see some cool shit. I no longer think they would put this on last if they didn't have good shit planned. And Stephanie McMahon is out there. So I don't think Triple H would send his wife out there to be thrown to the wolves and have a boo fest and have fans throwing shit into the ring when this thing is all said and done. And sure enough, guys, I'll get to the actual match now. I just wanted to go over some emotion that I was feeling during this because I thought that first Royal Rumble match took all my emotion. It didn't. There was a whole new wave of emotion coming over for the women, man, because wow, from Sasha Banks on, you had the surprise entrance sprinkled in at the perfect fucking times. After just 1 or 2, maybe 3, every 1, 2, or 3 participants of some current roster women, you would have a surprise entrance. Perfectly sprinkled in there. Not to mention some of the cool shit that was involved in it.
Alexa, have you connect Start My Jeep Cherokee.
God! Oh, man, dude, I was fighting that motherfucker, bro.
With the perfect balance of capability, technology, and efficiency.
Trish Stratus and Mickie James going face to face and the crowd erupting, and this is awesome, and yes, yes. Because for those of you that don't know, that was one of the premier feuds back in the day. Mickie James and her crazy character versus Trish Stratus. They had one of the best women's feud of all time for the women. And to see them get to reignite that in the middle of the ring, during the middle of a Royal Rumble, face to face, circling each other, crowd going nuts, coming to blows, fuck. It was amazing to be able to witness that. Here we are over a decade later, 15 years later, whatever the fuck it was. To see that reignited, goosebumps, man. To see Naomi pull up a Kofi Kingston, fly into a bunch of female superstars, but grab onto the barricade so she wasn't eliminated. Somehow, she goes all the way over the barricade to the seat. She kicks out Maria Menounos, who was a special guest fucking ring announcer, kicks her out of her seat, uses the chair, not as a pogo stick, but to drag her feet to the steps. Once she got to the steps, she was clear game. Fair game. And Naomi's back in the match. Now, that only lasted a couple of minutes, just like Kofi Kingston. She was immediately eliminated. But wow, to see Naomi using her athleticism like Kofi Kingston, that was fucking badass. Obviously, Vicky Guerrero coming out to her, excuse me, and pretty much stopping the whole match to where they all had to jump Vicky and send Vicky over. That was fucking awesomely done. Everybody jumping Nia Jax. There was just a lot of cool shit. Let me just go over, guys. I got a little bit of a cheat sheet here. This is how they spread. This is who was the surprise entrance and where they came in. And you'll see what I mean by perfectly sprinkling them through the Rumble match. So you never have a dull moment. That's what I mean about beautifully done. Listen to this list. All the surprise entrants and where they came in. Lita. Fucking Lita. With her bad neck, we never knew if she could really take an in-ring bump again on the main roster, if Vince would let her. And here's Lita doing a fucking moonsault. Moonsault, Lita! Lita came in at number 5, guys. Tori Wilson came in 4 spots later at number 9. Molly Holly at number 12. Yeah, remember that. One of the first people to break that was your boy BC Amplified. Everyone's like, I don't know, Molly Holly is saying she's never heard anything about this, BC. Yeah, it's called lying, guys. Just like her, just like Rousey. Rousey's going to Colombia to film her movie. BC, I don't know. I know you're saying this, BC, but they're saying different. Yeah, it's called lying, guys. In today's day and age, you got videos just like mine that are telling you guys what's going to happen. So they have to go out there and fight that. How do they do it? They have to lie. I don't blame them. They want to keep it a secret. They want to keep you surprised. So we're going to give you what's happening. We're going to spoil it for you guys. But out there, they're going to lie. So no, I'm not surprised that they said they don't know anything about it or that she's going to film a movie. I'm not surprised. They're trying to tell you guys that what you're seeing on my channel and everyone else's channel, Melty Boy, Mr. Dave Meltzer, that we're all giving you false information. No, we know our shit, man. We're doing our research. So I don't blame them for lying to you guys. They have to. They have to keep it surprising. They want to keep it a secret. It's the ebb and flow. We're going to tell you guys what's happening, and they're going to tell you, no, it's not. But every time I drop news to you guys, I always have somebody say, BC, I'm hearing that they're saying this is not true. Well, did you honestly think Rousey was going to come out and say, yeah, I'll be there? Did you think Molly Holly was going to be like, yeah, I'm a surprise entrant? That ruins the surprise. I'm the spoiler, not Molly Holly. Anyway, that's a little backstory, guys. I knew Molly Holly was going to be there. Lita at number 5, Tori Wilson number 9, Molly Holly number 12, Michelle McCool 2 spots later at number 14, Vicky Guerrero 2 spots after Michelle McCool, 16, coming out shouting, excuse me. Kelly 3 spots later, 19, Jacqueline, little Jacqueline going out there and whooping some ass, 2 spots later at number 21. Beth Phoenix, 3 spots later at number 24. And can I just say, Beth Phoenix still looking fucking diesel. Beth Phoenix looking like she can go out there and kick the shit out of today's roster, which she went in there and did last night. That was so cool to see Beth Phoenix. Somebody get word to Beth Phoenix and Edge, her husband. Please get word that Beth Phoenix needs to come back ASAP. I understand you have a kid. We'll get some 24/7 care when you're not home for him, or her, whatever it is. I'm sure she or him is a fucking beautiful kid. But Beth, you need to come back. You're in your prime still, man. You gotta get your ass back. You look great, and you still got it. You wanna do that chant? You gotta chant that for Beth Phoenix more than anybody. That woman had it. But anyway, she came out 3 spots after Jacqueline at 24. Nikki Bella comes out 3 spots later at 27. Brie Bella 1 spot later at 28. Both Bella twins back to back, 27-28. 2 spots later, Trish Stratus. That's what I mean about sprinkled together. I will say this again. Lita at 5, Tori Wilson 9, Molly Holly 12, Michelle McCool 14, Vicky Guerrero 16, Kelly 19, Jacqueline 21, Beth Phoenix 24, Nikki Bella 27, Brie Bella 28, Trish Stratus 30. Seriously, how do you, I mean, that is what I mean when I say epic. You sprinkle it around, and during that, you have Naomi doing what she's doing. Everybody jumping Nia Jax. Trish Stratus and fucking Mickey James face to face, coming to blows, rekindling their old-time feud. All of that, while Asuka, when it was all said and done,
Comes to getting the best services for your home, it's
Oh,
important to
that's
have all the
bad, bro.
facts.
Myth. All TV providers are the same.
Asuka picks up the huge W, which I said was going to happen from the beginning if they didn't have Rousey show up. And they didn't. They had Asuka, they had Trish Stratus at number 30, and Asuka wins the entire fucking thing. There'll be people that don't like the decision. I saw somebody didn't like the decision that Shinsuke won. They're like, it was too late. I believe it was on social media. I was like, what the fuck? Too late? The fans loved it. It's never too late to give this son of a bitch a push. Rusev's been buried for 2 fucking years. Rusev it still gets fucking cheers like there's no tomorrow. By the way, those Rusev Day chants last night, Philly was totally behind Rusev. Then Aiden English came out, guys. His music hit. He was like number 30 or whatever he was, 29 something. And no, number 30 was Dolph Ziggler. So that was another little tidbit from the men's Royal Rumble. Dolph Ziggler in at number 30. He didn't really do much, though. He got eliminated. He was not part of Final Four. But Aiden English was at the end there, too, man. Once fans heard the music, watch the crowd reaction. Dead. After a couple minutes, they actually started chanting Rusev and Rusev dead. But that's what I mean, that you have to split up Aiden English and Rusev. Rusev is getting all the momentum behind him. Aiden English is just bringing him down. Nobody wants him singing. Nobody gives a shit about him. But anyway, back to the women. Number 30 was Trish. That killed any excitement for Ronda Rousey. And it was brilliantly done, because after Asuka won the match, Alexa Bliss gets in the middle of the ring, Charlotte gets in the middle of the ring, Asuka's in the middle, and she's about to pick who she wants. When all of a sudden, Ronda Rousey's music hits. And the crowd is going fucking nuts when they see the Rowdies show up on the shrine. And they're going fucking ballistic. And here comes Ronda Rousey. Rousey gets in the middle of the ring, shakes Asuka's hand, points up to the WrestleMania sign, gets out of the ring, comes up to Stephanie. Stephanie's me grilling her because they have some bad history from WrestleMania 32 in San Francisco, when Stephanie got armbarred, almost armbarred, right? Arm fucking takedown by Ronda Rousey at 32. So they got history, and McMahon is grilling her, but Ronda just has a smile on her face like she knows something Stephanie doesn't know. And she shakes Stephanie's hand, and she walks back. And Asuka's there, basically like, wait, I didn't pick who I wanted yet. But if you watch Ronda, when she left the ring to go over to Stephanie, she looked at Charlotte and she said, I'll see you soon. So everything I said weeks ago that should happen is going to fucking happen, man. Alexa Bliss is going to defend against Asuka at WrestleMania, and it looks like Ronda Rousey is going to take on Charlotte at WrestleMania. How fucking epic. Charlotte gets the strap, hold it for a full year, nobody beats her, undefeated. Asuka gets the strap at the same night, WrestleMania, continues being undefeated. And at WrestleMania 35, next year, undefeated versus undefeated, a champion versus a champion, Asuka versus Ronda. Book that shit, Vince! That's excitement. When I say beautifully done, guys, Triple H, because I have to believe this is more of his decision, because he has more of the gaze of social media and the crowd response. I think he knew that so many people in Philly and across the world for pro wrestling kind of knew Ronda was going to show up and steal the Rumble. So you have a lot of nerdy fans, the smarks that I can't stand, the ones that are saying, oh, Asuka shouldn't win, that's too fucking, we already know that's going to happen. That's too simplistic, she shouldn't win. The same people are probably saying she got buried when she had a long match with Emma. Those are the same people saying don't give it to Asuka. And it's those same type of wrestling fans that think somebody like Ronda Rousey is going to do damage to the women's division because she's going to bury everybody. So those type of wrestling fans ruin it for everyone, and she doesn't even get to become an entrant in the Rumble. So Triple H flipped the script, and he said if she's going to get booed in Philly for being an entrant, let's have number 30 be Trish. And let's have them all be kind of down. And let's have them look in the mirror and say, oh, fuck, we were going to hate Ronda Rousey coming out, but now we don't even get Ronda Rousey. That kind of sucks. And now the Rumble's ending. I mean, it was cool. It was awesome. It was great. Don't get me wrong. But it's just going to end now with no Ronda. We kind of wanted to see Ronda. That's what Triple H wanted you to think. And he had everybody in the palm of their hands, man. That when Ronda's music hit at the end of the Rumble as a non-entry, the fans were flipping the fuck out. I know I went fucking ecstatic, man, because it was brilliantly booked. So Ronda comes out to much fan adulation. Again, going ballistic. And it made it that much cooler. And I told you guys in the Amplified preview, I would not put her in the Rumble as an entrant. I don't think that's the best place for her. But to bring her out immediately after, fucking epically done. And when she smiled at Stephanie McMahon like she knew something that she didn't know, it's because immediately after the Rumble went off the air.
That's how we do it on the farm.
Barbecue Pringles? Pizza Pringles.
You made barbecue pizza?
Social media blew up as Michael Cole told everyone, something's happening on social media. Guys, something is happening about this on social media. We gotta go. And Royal Rumble fades to black and goes off the air, and we're like, what the fuck is he talking about? You go to social media, ESPN, Bleacher Report, everyone is breaking that Ronda Rousey has signed a multi-year full-time contract with WWE. Not part-time, not 1 year, a multi-year full-time contract with WWE. Fucking A. Everything was exploding all at once when Royal Rumble went off the air, man. Emotions were at an all-time high, dude. You didn't know what to think. What does this mean? That's what you want from your paper. That's all I ever fucking asked for. Give me something surprising. Give me something epic. That Women's Royal Rumble match delivered so fucking much. It delivered more than anything I could have imagined. Everybody flew over the top rope beautifully for the most part. Not much was sloppy at all or messy. I fucking just loved this match. I will go back and watch this match again at some point. That's how much I loved it. And in the last 10 to 15 years, I can't really say that about WWE pay-per-views, that I actually go back and want to watch them again. Because of these Rumble matches alone, the Rumble matches alone, give this whole pay-per-view 2 thumbs up from me. This was a good pay-per-view, and that Women's Royal Rumble match was fucking great. It was fan-fucking-tastic. I don't care what anyone else, any other reviewer on YouTube, any fucking site, any dirt sheet, any fucking wrestling page on Google, anything that anybody else wants to say about this match that's contrary to what I'm saying, I don't give a fuck about what they're saying. I'm telling you, I am the smartest motherfucker then at that point, because I am telling you that match delivered, and it was fantastic, and I can't wait to see another one in the future. If they book it even half as good as what we saw last night, I'll take another. Beautifully done, guys. And as far as Alicia Fox, a lot of people are upset that WWE took her out. I'm hearing that it's a legit injury. If you go on Alicia Fox's Twitter, she's saying sad but true. So she is saying that it is true. But again, she could just be going along with WWE and trying to save face for the company. And saying, yeah, I'll take one for the team, I'll say sad but true. But they're also, it's been confirmed, guys, they're taking her out of the Mixed Match Challenge. And they're replacing, I believe it was Goldust, they're replacing his partner. So I don't know if they would take her out of that too. Or do they really want to sell this? So we still have to see, but it looks like as far as right now, they're taking her out of the Mixed Match Challenge. She is saying on her social media that it's sad but true. It looks like Alicia Fox is actually injured. So a lot of people are like flipping out. Why'd they take her out? I would have flipped out with you a little bit, you know what I mean? Because that's not right. That's not cool. But it looks legit. So that's just a little side note as well. Ronda Rousey is here. All the nerd wrestling, all the nerds out there are going to be like, I don't like this thing. She's going to bury everybody. She's not a real pro wrestler. So who do you want to see? You want to see Alicia Fox in there every fucking Monday night with her subpar skills? Do you want to see fucking Liv Morgan out there all the time? Sarah Logan? Who do you want to see then? Or do you want to see a legit realism badass? Like Ronda. When Ronda goes out there, just like Brock, she brings a sense of realism. A sense that anything can happen at any moment because it can. Because Ronda Rousey is that badass. You can complain and bitch all you want. I want people in there that are badass. That I know they kick the shit out of their opponent.
Always put cheese and brews in your sandwich? Of course. Chips. Chips plus sandwich equals the perfect lunch. Oh!
Typically, I think people go way overboard when they pump these NXT takeover shows full of smoke. I'm always like, were they really that good? Or your standards and expectations been lowered that much? That's really what I feel like more of what it is. That said, I do understand why people sit there and say that these NXT takeover shows make the big WWE pay-per-views look really bad, specifically the big four pictures. Because you most certainly could have made that case this weekend. NXT takeover Sunday are only the perfect show, but much better than this in general shit show that we got, which was the 2018 Royal Rumble. And that's right, I said that shit show. S-H-I-T shit, for those of you that can't frickin' spell. This show sucked. Flat out. I'm sure you'll see plenty of other people pumping this full of smoke because the people that wanted to win, and that's all that matters. And no, it absolutely is not the case. Trash is trash. And so much about this show is absolute trash. And not so humble opinion. Looking at the WWE Championship match, 2-on-1 handicap match. AJ Styles defending against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Oh boy, can we off. How sad it is that the WWE Championship, is curtain jerking at a big four pay-per-view. This title that has been the crux of so many main event WrestleMania storylines over the years is opening the 2018 Royal Rumble. It's sad, but the truth is, it should. This match had one person I cared about in AJ Styles, and two that I don't. You know who the other two are. And a match built around the story that I don't give a shit about. Now, frankly, I think I'm not alone in that sense. A lot of other people don't care about this either. When the match happens, it's solid for what it is. These guys try to go out there and do something cool, but it just kind of falls flat because, again, the whole premise of this is just dumb. AJ Styles retains, thanks to heavens, he actually went in and killed right on Kevin Owens. Now, can this story be done? Can we move the hell on? And furthermore, if this is starting to lead to Kevin Owens versus Sami Zayn at WrestleMania one more time, and this time we'll pretend it really matters. Fuck you, WWE. SmackDown Tag Team Championship. The Usos come out, and as we're talking about, like, I think one of them dropped the line that they have nothing to lose. Got nothing to lose, but this is a tag team title match. Don't you have your tag titles at stake? Couldn't you potentially lose your tag team titles? Or perhaps, after celebrating your victory, couldn't you perhaps lose your driver's license if you don't ask Sami Zayn to wait in another place so that way you get the advantage of that built-in Uber driver to take you where you need to go? Because they have nothing to lose? Nothing to lose? I don't think so. And they also look out, Shelton Benjamin, 42 years of age, and damn still looks like he's strong. He's a freak. Where was his mom? That's what I want to know. As far as the match, it took a long time to get to this first fall, and we did a lot of crap in this. And then we got that first fall, and then almost instantly it felt like we got the second fall. And I'm fine with the 2 out of 3 falls, we got literally 2 falls, because too often these matches almost lose distance, and it should always be the case. But it was really weird, this spacing. We're trying to kill someone secondary in the first fall, and as soon as the first fall happened, we're like, oh, we didn't need to show up this time, we need to hurry up and go through right away in the second fall. It was just weird. I'm okay with doing the second fall, and that being it. But not in the way this was done. This was lame, and this It's like most of this night really didn't resonate with me because the third match on the card, the third match on the card again, the third match on this freaking card is the men's Royal Rumble match. Not the third class, not the second class, not the main event. This match went on third. I will say this. I have commented on Twitter and before this show that I didn't know what was going on more specifically as the rumor got started to get out there as people report by PW Factor. And the Women's Royal Rumble match was made by night. There's no way that Roman is actually winning this match. It's not going to be second to last. There's no way their Golden Boy is going to win a Rumble in the middle of the damn card. So there's no SmackDown. Nobody kind of cares about that, really. Some of the highlights here. Rusev Day lasted over 30 minutes. That was cool. Cena almost got a nice run here. The NXT champion and Adam Cole participated. After the first 1 minute or so, the first time the first minutes of this Rumble match were pretty lame. As you got to the first 20 minutes specifically, it really sucked. It was really dragging. There was nothing really of interest going on. Then there was 21 minutes of the Hurricane. And he's gone. He told the WWE they needed him, he was there, but he came in, and he was gone. Fuck you, Cena. And then, at number 27, I think it was, comes Rey Mysterio, and he was great. Personally, I think he saw that 6-1 back, and I'm just saying because he's killing mode, which just amps up the level of seriousness, and I think this guy can literally kill people in the ring now. Again, Rey Mysterio, I hope he was in the wrong. He actually used that because we had that cruiserweight division could really use it. Really smart. Could really use it. Could really use it. He was really, really good. Completely inappropriate run. And number 30, this valuable spot, last entrance into a guy who Dolph Ziggler, who is the ultimate enemy for waste of space. He wins the US title to vacate it to come after the Royal Rumble, last a few minutes, do nothing, and nobody cares. Because ultimately, once and for all, this moment, if anything else, should have taught the important lesson of why I always come back to you know the rest. Fuck Dolph Ziggler. Unbelievable. This match finally did truly only got to the final stage. Spin back with the John Cena machine in the corner, it was Roman. At that point in time, it felt like any of these four guys could really legitimately win because you had some questions of which direction. And we really felt like it specifically where he got or so forth, still not the lower of the great, but we all things out on Twitter with hardcore felt like this. It was like with Vince versus the hardcore band. Who Vince envisions as a Rumble winner and who the hardcore WWE the dynamics is just really funny. As the muscle freaks and sequel ways connected together, and the indie galleries of Shinsuke and Power kind of thing. This was a big spot for Finn. Over 58 minutes, so he did his thing for his time, that's for sure. And at least I would say this hashtag is valid for eliminating that suspect sissy Dolph Ziggler. Even people that don't like, I can give credit. But then, thanking Cena for eliminating Finn Balor. It was a secret. Look here, where Finn Balor was going to do this, even though I really felt at that point that was going to be Shinsuke. Makes more sense to have another one contender for the Elimination Chamber match than it does a WWE Universal title match, especially when Rock was really able to go with number 10 in his match later on in the night. Anyways, so it felt like with this SmackDown bound all the way, and ultimately Shinsuke knocked the door, the Elimination Chamber was real, it was out there, you could feel it, and it could get to you emotionally how at least did the finish of this Royal Rumble match. It got you. It hooked you. And I'm sure it did hook a lot of people, regardless if they were Reigns or Nakamura or neither or both. It was a good finish. It's just a good finish with the guy that most people wanted to win winning. Doesn't change the fact that the vast majority of this match pretty much sucked. It just went by and nothing really happened. It was overall winning with a much stronger finish, which helped, but doesn't wash over everything, especially when this match has been about an hour and 5 minutes. I'm sorry. And what else is really weird with this, with having Shinsuke win right in the middle of the show, Seth Rollins and Houston Jordan, and I want to point out that a match featuring Seth Rollins and Cesaro was the ultimate history on this show. It really, truly was. But when Jason Jordan won, that is not the only factor here. Just a match that wasn't very interesting, story that wasn't very interesting, and it really ended up being a match that was flat, and it really felt like it was too early to fully be starting to break up between Braun and Jordan. It was just dumb. It happened, and now the Bar are the 4-time WWE Raw Tag Team Champions, and they've won 4 tag team titles, and even the WWE doesn't even freaking know, because after the match happened, they tweeted out, congratulations to the now 3-time tag team champions in the Bar. It's 4 times. It's 4 times. It's 4 times WWE, and it's 4 times. Your social media team is full of idiots. They can't even get that regular. Literally just been said on commentary 30 seconds before you tweet it out. Universal title match, what more do you want to say? You've been there, done that. It's like whatever it is for people. On Smash, Lesnar won. We've seen it before. What more can I really say? Other than it was interesting when Braun stiffed Brock with that knee, how quickly Brock responded with his receipt, and then he hit him and he smacked him with that stiff right hand, and he said something to the body and told him to watch him, he should slow the fuck down. Whatever the case, I mean, like Brock has to stick with him. But it is interesting how WWE is setting this up. With the men's Royal Rumble match, they gave the match finish that allowed them to win. They gave Nakamura the lead of Rumble, and then for some reason forced him to immediately decide who's going to face off. That was something but the WWE is the main event. How does it mean? That really matter. Now they still do whatever they want. They still have Roman Reigns go to the final 2 of this year's Royal Rumble weekend. So that way, they can sit there and have him hold that Elimination Chamber match in Braun Strowman to become the number 1 contender, and then he will go on to WrestleMania to challenge Brock Lesnar still anyways for the WWE Universal title. Or he can at least get out of 2 of them at 5 and become the new champion. It will be really interesting to see the way this has been set up. The kind of the lameness of Lesnar's title run, if you move it to a point where even though it's Roman, even though it's Mania, is this match going to get completely booed out of the room because people are sick of freaking Lesnar as well? There are some people actually going to cheer for Reigns because they're tired of Lesnar's part-time suck-ass title reign. WWE, masters of manipulation. Anyways, enough of that crap. Yeah, that match was exactly what you thought it was. It wasn't very long. It wasn't very fun. Then we get to the Women's Royal Rumble match. And once you saw that this was going to be an event, you knew somehow, some way what this was going to look like at any point in the Some of us thought that that certain individual was going to enter at number 40, and ultimately she did. Based on the way she did debut, and she was featured, and what she did, maybe she should. But what happened in this case? That main evented the 2018 Royal Rumble. Sasha Banks went 54 minutes and didn't do shit, including connecting on any of her kicks in the corner.
Oh god, those were bad.
So probably one of the few things that will actually go viral about the show, outside of Rousey's debut and maybe Asuka and Nakamura winning their damn Rumble match. You got plenty of returns here, where you didn't have many on the men's side, and had no choice but to have on the women's side. Leader, Wilson, Howard, Michelle, Ford, Guerrero, Kelly, Miss Jacqueline, Beth Phoenix, all types of nostalgia, all types of returns. And what's really striking specifically to me is what I thought when you saw Wilson, Howard, and even Kelly, when you go to church nicely, you look at them and you see the wow factor that this women's roster by and large for WWE, and it makes you shake your damn head. Like these women are now in their 30s and their 40s, and you look at these other actors, shame, it's true. Is of all the women, Michelle McCool gets the most Rumble eliminations.
So good!
This bitch has aggressive with over half a decade, and you're letting her eliminate 5 people? Like, this is your first ever women's Rumble match? You're not going to give it to Sasha Banks or somebody else that's actually going to be there for them. You're going to get to some big ass effort, who the only reason he ever pushed her to the moon to begin with was because she was Doinkin Taker, ultimately Mary Taker, and had some babies with her. Now we're gonna sit there and use this as a potential marketing chip? Or is it appeal to the Undertaker to try and get one more crappy match out of him that most of us don't want to see? Getting a freaking break. You got the big Kofi spot on this time out of the movie. It was kind of really weird when you think about it. Of course, it kind of because that's just what they do. Kofi. But you see me walk on this rigmarole, walking out of the freaking barricade and coming in the middle of the chair and doing the top and doing all this stuff. The whole premise of the Royal Rumble is both feet have to touch the ground. Why would you not brace yourself, get off the barricade, hop on one foot, and get back in the ring? Why do we need to go through all of this? Why do we have to go through all of this? And why would we not call this stupid? It is fantasy, especially when you have to do all this. Because when you get okay, you know shit's like pancakes and crap. In the men's Royal Rumble match, just to sit there and get eliminated immediately afterwards. Because that's what the hell they do. And at this point, I'm just sitting there and I'm like, let's get to number 30, let's get to number 30, let's get to the inevitable. And I'm like, nah, number 30 can't be her because you tell me you have Negan there, and then you're not going to have Trish Stratus there, and then you have both of them in the same one match, but they don't have a face off. I'm talking about these two women that were independent back in 2004, with so much for the women of WWE, and that's exactly what they did. They bounced Negan's ass early as hell in this. But number 30 was Trish Stratus. This was almost like, as a lot of the people started looking for Rousey, anticipating Rousey, chanting for Rousey, the WWE was like, we're not going to do Rousey here.
God!
Trish Stratus, absolutely double dog, area to boo her. You know you don't have the balls or the guts to do so, and you know what they wrestle. Right. We're not doing Trish Stratus, period. There's no way. Yes, fuck Sasha Banks for going so long and not being champion. Sasha Banks for Trish Stratus. Good. Not as stupid as Michelle McCool being eliminated more people than Nia Jax, but still pretty damn stupid. But then we get to the whole part of the night, which is ultimately, once you knew Rousey wasn't entering at number 30, it was like, inevitability, it's going to be Asuka. And of all the people that Asuka has to battle with or struggle with, it's not a Nia Jax, it's not a Sasha Banks, it's 50-some damn minutes. It's the freaking Bella sluts who, when was the last time they freaking wrestled? When? Is Nikki Bella's last match literally WrestleMania 23, or am I forgetting something else along the way? When the hell was the last time that Brie Bella wrestled against match? Asuka, who's the big powerhouse who never lost on NXT, was a long-ass reigning women's champion, undefeated and all that jazz, is struggling with these freaking model things that aren't much of a models to be doing, that aren't actually fucking, that sure as hell aren't very good in the ring. Like, how stupid is it? Like, Asuka's supposed to do these two Bella slut queens as threats? Like, they're supposed to challenge her, and even get this whole thing finished. And it was amazing, you saw the political power that some of these women have within WWE. Like, Michelle McCool got more elimination than anybody because of who she's with. Trish Stratus got followed at number 30 and got some shine because she's Trish Stratus. And then the Bellas, specifically Reba, because she's abandoned, and of course, specifically the massive political player, similar to Michelle McCool, Nikki Bella, is going to get so much run and get taken so seriously and make it to the final two, because why wouldn't she? She's taking John Cena and engaged in his ass. These women, some of them in WWE, basically know how to play the political power game and play it very well. I give them all this credit for this. They've been able to do that over the years. And in this particular case, they just farted it and finished the state of women's role. It was so stupid. You see the triple woman that was cool, at the same time, the person who really you used to get, and then the quality woman you get now. Then you look at it and you see a good powerhouse is struggling with the outsides. And then the way that you did it, barely squeezed out, was just trash. It was just trash. Not as trash as Stephanie McMahon and the commentary for the entirety of this women's match, where it's almost kind of art type of thing, but none of the charm and none of the appeal whatsoever. Just her radiant morning voice chiming in like she's saying something out of color, and everybody else is kind of color shut the fuck up. I mean, your boss is hard, but you don't lose it. She has to sit down containing it this way. They're showing the woman, they show the stage for a quick second, then they're showing back to the movie. They don't know what the hell they're doing at this point. Oh, look, it's freaking Ronda Rousey coming out to this weird ass music with hot rock tribute. Oh, whoopity freaking do. Coming out and smiling, can't keep a straight face, can't be serious about none of this shit. She comes into the ring as Asuka is supposed to have her moment, have this big shine, and they just totally take it away from Asuka. And frankly, after saying they're going to take it away from Ronda Rousey because they're sharing this spot, and that's not what it should have been. If Rousey was going to be there, she should have been in the damn match, and she should have won the damn number. That way, you'll win this crowd. Instead, what they did, they were like, well, we want to have the completion of the Japanese invasion, which is cool in and of itself. That whole Nakamura and Asuka are the two rumble winners. This is the WWE. You couldn't never fucking do something like this, and I will certainly get not. And I am prouder than for it. But the fact is, if you were going to do this, and this was the way you were going to feature Rousey, this is the way you were going to do it, debut Rousey, and you were going to put this portion of an abomination of an debut out there, that you should have been in the damn match anyways, enter number 30, and win the freaking thing. Because this was trash. They're sitting there not being able to keep a straight face. And freaking Asuka, and pointing at Charlotte, and something saying, let's get there, and walking around the step, and that weird ass handshake thing they were doing, this was done. Like, you intentionally main evented your women's Royal Rumble match, because this was supposed to be a big 3D. This was going to be the thing that certain people weren't happy. This was supposed to be the thing that made you sit there and say, my goodness, this women's division is big business now. They are really picking it up. This is a revolution. And if this is the revolution that you're going to get, then this revolution will be quickly shut down. This debut, if you suck, you know it. Once you get past it, oh, this is something we've been waiting for years. Isn't that part of the point? And yeah, 4 years, you knew this was an eventuality. You knew this was going to happen. And this skin deep of great and hot crap is what you came up with. You decided to take the shine off of us and awkwardly pigeonhole and shoehorn Ronda Rousey into this, to where everybody is confused, and not in a good way. Nothing was going to happen. Confused, like, what the fuck just happened here? Like, this big bad bitch who came to the UFC with, who'd been waiting for years for it, who had her come out smiling and pointing, and she can't even keep a straight face. This was just abomination of executing what was supposed to be a freaking deal. And that music, like she's supposed to be this intimidating badass, and that's the music you're gonna play. Really hard to take her seriously as she's coming out through that music. I'm sorry. In theory, it's cool that Nakamura and Asuka won their own. I give you that. The rest of the other matches on this card were the Rumble matches themselves were one.
Damn, Jeff. to switch up music. It's good. It's good. It's good. Let's see. Where the fuck are my damn glasses? Shit.
I mean, this looked absolutely horrible. It's like the one thing that always bothered me about that title match that Diesel and Shawn Michaels had at WrestleMania 11. Besides the fact that they had to play second fiddle to LT and Bam Bam in the main event. But the thing about that match that messed it up and really bothered me was the botched jackknife at the end of that match. It's like Shawn over-rotated and almost like landed on his ass. Those guys should have redid the move too, and that always bothered me. Even when I first saw it when I was much younger, I knew it looked like crap, and he just went and pinned him anyway. So, this was a bad finish. A bad finish to a match that really wasn't much of anything. So then we had the Royal Rumble pay-per-view itself. Pay-per-view opened with the handicap match. The WWE Championship, AJ Styles defending against Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. If you would have told me that they were going to open with the WWE Championship match, I would have called you crazy. This match order is not what I would have predicted here on this show.
Alright, got some
good news
rewards.
is we got a hot opener. This was a really fun opening match. And there were tags in and out, which they had announced a few weeks ago. Kind of awkward for a handicap match.
Nice.
But you had a tag in and out. Those are the rules. There was a great spot in the middle of this match where Owens catapulted AJ out of the corner. Basically monkey flipped him. And in midair, AJ turned it into a head scissors takeover of Sami Zayn. Good. It looked like he was actually going to crash into Zayn, but he gave him a head scissors on the way down. That was the spot of the match.
Damn.
Right there. Very impressive stuff.
Fucking AJ,
Zayn,
man.
later on, he came this close. He's reaching for the tag to Kevin Owens, and he almost touched his fingertips, but didn't quite make the tag. And AJ brings him over to the ropes. He tosses Zayn, just chucks him out of the ring, tosses him out to the floor. Kevin Owens gets in the ring. He comes in anyway. He gives AJ a super kick, throws him into the ropes, goes for the pop-up powerbomb, but AJ reverses it into a cradle on the way down and pins Owens to retain the championship. The controversy coming out of this match is that Sami Zayn never did make the tag to Kevin Owens. So therefore, Owens was not the legal man. Sami Zayn was. And even after the match backstage, Owens and Zayn went up to Shane McMahon. They were ranting and raving and pleading their case, and Shane McMahon, of course, just didn't care because he didn't like them. But clearly this continues this storyline into Tuesday and beyond. We'll find out on SmackDown this week if they're going to get their rematch. Obviously the story is not over yet. But I thought this was a really fun opener. And on the kickoff show, they had Ric Flair on as a panelist. And he looked like he was having a ball. I mean, he was smiling and telling stories, and it was actually a lot of fun. I'll tell you what, it was a lot more fun watching him than it was Alundra Blaze on that pre-show.
Oh, God.
But he was on there, and he made the comment, he called AJ Styles the Shawn Michaels of this generation, which is quite the compliment, I think, for anybody to say that, let alone Ric Flair. As much as Flair revered Shawn and wanted to work with him in his last match, for him to say that about AJ is really a big deal. And like I said on Twitter, we're all lucky to have him. We are all very lucky to have AJ in WWE right now. The Usos against Chad Gable and Shelton Benjamin, 2 out of 3 falls for the SmackDown Tag Team titles. Well, at least it went a while before the first fall ended. I always worry about that in these 2 out of 3 falls matches that WWE does. Because so many times we see that first fall end in the first, 2 minutes, 3 minutes. And it's like, what's the point? Why even have a 2 out of 3 falls match if you're just going to do that? So they didn't do that here. It went a little while before the first fall. And I thought this was really good. The problem is the crowd never really got into it the way that I think they all expected them to. They were kind of quiet for most of this match. Very little heat for this. Gable ate the first fall after a super kick party, basically, by the Usos.
Super kick
the Usos
party!
The first fall. Second fall, this was really weird. Now, we've seen clean sweeps before, and frankly, most of the time, they're never any fun. Again, I don't know why you would do a clean sweep in a 2 out of 3 falls match. Unless you're just trying to bury somebody, which I don't think is what they were trying to do here. But the second fall had Jimmy Uso pin Shelton Benjamin with an inside cradle. They were setting up for their finish, so Gable was climbing up to the top rope. He wasn't really paying attention. So as he's climbing up to the top and Benjamin is kind of setting Jimmy up for, I guess, the power bomb, again, inside cradle, and he gets the pin. And Gable's just sitting up there like a moron, doesn't realize what just happened. And just like that, a clean sweep for the Usos, and they retain the tag team titles. And I'm watching this and I'm saying, boy, that sucked. Because I was kind of enjoying the match up until that point, but then the finish came out of nowhere, and they didn't give anything to Benjamin and Gable after they had looked pretty good on TV the last few weeks. I mean, they even had Gable get a win over Jey Uso last Tuesday. I enjoyed that match. And then they do this. And to me, the only thing that makes sense coming out of this, and I'll give this a pass if this happens, but I'm skeptical that this is where this is leading. If Gable blames Benjamin for the loss, and on Tuesday he turns on it.
Yes.
And we finally get a singles run on SmackDown for Chad Gable. It is possible. I mean, I always figured they put Benjamin with him. I mean, not just to give Gable something to do, but, Benjamin's one of these guys they brought back. I don't think they had any expectations for him to be like a big player. They want to use guys like him to help, kind of give the rub to and elevate and work with the newer, younger guys. And I think Gable is more than ready. And I think there's a lot of potential to see him there as a singles. So if they want to use Shelton to, help do that and have Chad beat the crap out of him and start a heel run, I'm fine with that. I'm ready. I'm ready for a heel or babyface. Doesn't matter to me. There's a lot of potential in Chad Gable. But if that's not what they're doing here, and they just decided to beat them 2 straight falls, this was just incredibly stupid. And it did bring the match down. It absolutely brought the match down. We had the 30-man Royal Rumble match, the men's 30 Rumble match here in the middle of the show, no less. First time the Rumble was ever mid part of the Royal Rumble pay-per-view. We've seen Rumbles before where the Rumble goes on second to last, which I don't like. So here we are now. It's, I mean, is it even in the middle? It's like the early part of the pay-per-view, just very weird placement here. But they couldn't do both Rumbles back-to-back. I mean, that's just too much. So, 90-second intervals. So, because of that, this thing just felt like it was zipping on by. Rusev started the Rumble at number 1. Finn Balor drew number... it's got a massive reaction. Tons of Rusev Day. I mean, Rusev Day was just over like Rover here on this show. People love chanting Rusev Day.
Oh, shit.
Rhino was number 3. Baron Corbin entered at number 4. He dumped out Rhino pretty quickly. And then Baron Corbin was immediately dumped out by Finn Balor.
So good.
Baron Corbin, it's such a weird thing with him because, I don't know. I mean, he wins Money in the Bank last year. And when it comes time for him to cash in Money in the Bank, he looks like a goober. He gets pinned in like 5 seconds. Right? So it's like, oh, boy, what a moron this guy is. Goes to SummerSlam, gets jobbed out to John Cena. And now you don't know what they're doing with this guy. Then he wins the United States Championship. So it's like, oh, okay, well, all right, they put the U.S. title on him. And then they do stuff like this, where he comes in and immediately gets dumped out of the Rumble. So, of course, he pitched a shit fit. He drags Balor out of the ring. He lays him out. I think he laid out Rusev with the End of Days on the floor. So, I mean, he beat up a whole bunch of guys, but, hey, didn't do him any favors getting dumped out that quickly. Heath Slater came out number 5. Corbin on his way out clotheslined him, left him laying. And poor Heath Slater, I mean, he kept getting... Every time somebody new would come out, they would just beat on him. It took a while for him to finally get back into, or to even get into the ring the first time. So, Elias was out next, number 6. He was playing his guitar on the way to the ring. Now, I had number 7. If you listen to the Full Sound Off podcast, you guys know in our Royal Rumble pool on Facebook, I drew number 7. So I was rooting for number 7. I didn't know who it was going to be. And number 7 this year on the Rumble turned out to be the NXT champion, Andrade Cien Almas, who just had the greatest match in NXT history the night before against Johnny Gargano. He actually lasted quite a while. I think he ended up lasting about half an hour here in this match. But I knew at that point I was not winning the Royal Rumble pool this year, and in fact, I did not. Bray Wyatt was out next at number 8. Big E, who's number 9. Ty Dillinger do number 10 for the 2nd straight year, which is amazing, right? Given how these are supposed to be random draws and all. But Dillinger never made it out. They cut backstage. He was being beaten down by Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn, and Owens was going to go out there and take his spot, and Sami was like, no, I'll go out there and take his spot. So Sami Zayn ended up in the Royal Rumble as number 10. Sheamus was number 11. He was immediately sent out by Heath Slater.
So good. On
his birthday, no less. Michael Cole wouldn't shut up about it. It's his birthday. It's his birthday. Who cares? But he got dumped out. And then Slater was promptly dumped out by Bray Wyatt. We had Xavier Woods at number 12, Apollo Crews at number 13, Shinsuke Nakamura entered the Royal Rumble at number 14, and he eliminated Sami Zayn. We had Cesaro at number 15, 16 was Kofi Kingston, 17 was Jinder Mahal, Seth Rollins, channeling the spirit of Bam Bam Bigelow with the flames on his new tights, he entered at number 18.
So fucking...
Now Jinder Mahal, who had eliminated Big E already. He had eliminated Xavier Woods. Apparently, Jinder Mahal was no fan of the New Day. So he got rid of both of them. So he goes to eliminate Kofi Kingston, or so we thought. Kofi gets dumped out, but he lands with 1 foot on Xavier's chest, because Xavier was still laying outside the ring. So 1 foot hits the floor, the other foot is on Xavier's chest. He's still in, right? You're still officially in the Rumble until both feet hit the floor. All of a sudden, Big E slides a plate of pancakes under Kofi's foot. So now he's using the pancakes as like a base. Okay? Jinder sees all of this in the ring. He's just mortified. He will not let Kofi back inside. Kofi's trying to climb back in. He won't let him in. So they're trying to figure out what to do here. And they come up with a plan. Xavier and Big E, they put their hands out. They're going to give Kofi a boost. They wanted to put their foot on their hands. They're going to give him a boost into the ring. And holy shit, did he get some height on this boost.
Yes,
they propelled this guy a good, 15 feet, it looked like, into the air. Over Jinder. He sailed over Jinder and landed on his feet in the middle of the ring. And in the annals of all of the Kofi Kingston attempts to get back into the ring, because we've seen this, it's become a Rumble tradition at this point. At some point, he's got to win. Like, one year, they should just throw the guy a bone and have Kofi get the shot win in the Rumble. But this was one of the more impressive feats because of the height, just because of the height that he got. I did not see that coming. So he lands in the ring. Kofi gives Jinder a kick. He knocks Jinder out of the ring. I mean, just for that alone, I would give him the win. And then Andrade Cien Almas hits Kofi with his hammerlock DDT, and after all that effort, he just tosses him out, and Kofi is gone. Woken Matt Hardy entered at number 19. He and Bray Wyatt actually were working together a little bit, attacking people. They eliminated Rusev. Rusev lasted over half an hour. People were very upset when he got eliminated. And then, of course, Matt and Bray end up eliminating each other. John Cena entered at number 20. He was beloved in Philly.
Ha!
By beloved, I mean they chanted that John Cena sucks. Everybody in the ring, this was actually kind of funny, everybody in the ring immediately ganged up on John when he came in, because why wouldn't they? If they want to win, right, that's what you got to do. They know that. They're not stupid. Cena then eliminated Elias, so much for doing something with them in the Rumble. That was kind of stupid. Number 21 was Hurricane Helms. Came face-to-face with John Cena.
Yes!
Cena immediately dumped him. Again, very stupid. Aiden English was number 22. Adam Cole was number 23. Ribs all taped up. How this man is even walking after what he did to himself at TakeOver the night before, especially that chair spot, I'll never know. He's lucky he could even stand upright. Randy Orton was number 24. Hit an RKO on Andrade. Dumped him out of the ring. Nearly 30 minutes for the NXT champion. That's not a bad run. Titus O'Neil was number 25. I hate that. I just... When they waste spots on guys like that, especially that late in the match, I just hate that. The Miz was number 26. That'd be like Virgil back in the day, coming out at like number 28. Like, come on, you know? So Miz was number 26. Rey Mysterio was one of the big surprises in the Rumble match, if not the biggest. He came out at number 27. He actually looked to be in tremendous shape. I don't know if it was the tan. I don't know what it was. He looked like he was in great shape. And kind of a bit of redemption for it, because I think now correct me if I'm wrong, somebody will, I'm sure, but the last time I remember him being in the Rumble was probably 2014. Maybe he was there 2015 also, but I remember him in 2014 coming out at number 30 and everybody shitting all over him because he wasn't Daniel Bryan. And it wasn't Ray's fault, but he took the brunt of it, and I always felt bad for him because he didn't do anything. It wasn't his fault. So here he came out, he got a great reaction. It was a nice little bit of redemption for him here in this match. And as far as from what I understand, from what I read anyway, at this point, this was just meant to be a one-off. So it's not like he's back. He may end up being back, but for now, this was just meant to be a one-time appearance. He did eliminate Adam Cole.
Baby!
Do they do something with Ray as far as him maybe being the new GM for 205 Live? You know, maybe they could. I mean, I'm still sticking with Rockstar Spud is my pick. But that certainly would be one way to infuse a little bit of star power into that show. Roman Reigns, the big dog, came out number 28. All the Boo Birds were out in full force. No shock there. They're having horrible flashbacks to 2015. We had Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins eliminate The Miz. They teamed up, gave him the power bomb basically out of the ring onto the Miztourage outside. And as soon as they dumped out Miz, Roman turned on Rollins and threw him out of the ring. And that's perfectly fine, because it's every man for himself. And Seth seemed to accept that and understand that. It's too bad Hulk Hogan couldn't do the same back in 1992.
No, he couldn't.
When Sid dumped him out of the ring, Hogan bitched like a little baby, and Sid had to look down and tell him, it's every man for himself, big boy. And Hogan cried like a child. Seth Rollins, he didn't cry like a child. He accepted it and he went to the back. That's the way it should be. Goldust entered at number 29, then number 30. Everybody's wondering, all right, who's it going to be? Is it going to be, Bobby Lashley? Is it going to be The Undertaker? Is it going to be some other mystery guest? Who's it going to be? Turns out to be Dolph Ziggler. Now, I wasn't mad about that at first. I was kind of a little disappointed, and I'm like, all right, well, let's see where this goes, right? This whole storyline has been very weird. He walked out. He surrendered the U.S. title. He's been missing now for weeks. Maybe he'll win. Maybe he'll actually win this time, even though it would be a few years too late, but who knows, right? He comes in number 30, and within 90 seconds, he was gone. A complete and total waste of a spot. And there were some people tweeting me, I didn't think it was a waste of a spot. I enjoyed seeing him. I didn't say that I didn't enjoy seeing him. I said if that's all they were going to do with him, it was a waste of a frickin' spot. You're not going to win this debate with me. It was a waste. So they wasted the number 30 spot in this Rumble, which was stupid. But, came down to Nakamura, Balor, Reigns, Cena, Orton, and Mysterio.
Well, that
not a bad group of guys to come down to. And it was kind of cool, too, because everybody was kind of taking their position, like, who are you going to align with? And Balor and Nakamura were on one side of the ring, and then Cena, Reigns, and Rey. Or actually, it was more like Cena and Rey, but I think Reigns sort of joined that. No, I'm sorry, it was Cena, Orton, and Mysterio. They all kind of, you know, grouped up together on one side. Reigns was sort of by himself. It was like the old guard against the new guard. So I thought that was kind of cool. We get down to the Final Four, and I thought the Final Four was great. Balor, Nakamura, Cena, and Reigns. It was anyone's game. Everybody was worried, oh my god, Roman's going to win, but you didn't really know, right? And you always thought, well, there's a chance John Cena could win. All this talk about him winning title number 17. He could win. I mean, he was maybe the least likely of the bunch, but it could be Cena. Maybe Balor's going to win, right? Ever since they announced that the winner can choose the champion he faces, so all of a sudden Balor's name, people were talking about maybe Balor will win and they'll cash in against AJ. We'll have AJ Styles and Finn Balor in a rematch from No Mercy, I think it was. And they'll do that match at WrestleMania.
Woo!
So maybe it's going to be Balor. And then Nakamura seemed to be the obvious choice. So that's what I liked about the Final Four this year. It was unpredictable. You didn't know for sure. You kind of thought you knew, but you didn't know for sure who was going to win. And I think most people figured it's going to be Nakamura or Reigns. Just a matter of who was Vince going to pick. That's one of the things I hated about the Rumble in 2015 when Reigns won. Was it was so blatantly obvious and predictable when it came down to Big Show and Kane and Roman. There was no drama there. It was like whoever put that together should never be allowed to put together a Rumble match ever again. This is how you put together a Final Four in a Royal Rumble match. And so everybody was into it. Nobody was shitting on it and booing it. Everybody was excited and anxious. It just seemed like they didn't want Roman to win, anybody but Roman. So John Cena eliminated Finn Balor. People were not happy about that. Nakamura eliminated John Cena. People were very happy about that. And so it came down to Roman Reigns and Shinsuke Nakamura. These are the two people who it should have come down to. Nakamura hit the Kinshasa. He ended up tossing out Roman Reigns to win the Royal Rumble match, about 65 minutes, which I think makes it one of the longest Rumble matches of all time. I think the longest Rumble might be about 67 or 68 minutes, I think. So I don't think this was the longest, but this had to be one of the longest, which is kind of surprising given that they did 90-second intervals and not 2 minutes. But they did the right thing. Those last several minutes I thought were fantastic. They were fantastic in nearly giving me a heart attack. High anxiety, making you think that they were going to go the wrong way with it. But in the end, they picked the right guy. The right man won. And Renee Young got in the ring. She asked Shinsuke afterwards, okay, which champion are you going to go after at WrestleMania? And he picked, to no one's surprise, AJ Styles. And the place went nuts. So people are going to get what they want. It's finally happening. We get AJ Styles and Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 34. A match worthy of the main event, even if it doesn't actually close out the show, which
that's fucking dope.
A definite main event caliber match for WrestleMania. In fact, I'll go so far as to say that if they let these guys go out there and do their thing and give them plenty of time, 25-30 minutes to have a championship match for the ages, it could end up being one of the best championship matches in WrestleMania history. These two guys have the potential to go in there and have that kind of match. Are they going to? I don't know. But they have the chance. I'm looking forward to it.
Yes, sir.
So, largely because of the last several minutes, I thought this was a really good Royal Rumble match. I thought this was the best Rumble match in years. I'd have to really think to figure out like how far back it goes. Because I didn't think the 2016 Rumble was a bad match. I was there for that. I mean, I had fun watching that one. I think this was probably better than that one. So yeah, I would say that this was the best men's Rumble match in many years. Absolutely. And now, admittedly, that's a low bar because there haven't been a whole lot of what I would call great Rumbles in recent years.
That's fair.
You know, but the one thing I guess I was kind of disappointed by was I was hoping for more Surprises. I mean, Ray was a nice little surprise. Hurricane, I mean, who cares? I wish they had some more surprises, but the fact that they didn't, I mean, that doesn't make it a bad match.
After fucking Hurricane.
We had Sheamus and Cesaro against Seth Rollins and Jason Jordan for the Raw Tag Team titles. By this point, the crowd was dead. The crowd was completely spent. They had just watched a Royal Rumble match for over an hour, and a very dramatic finish that everybody in that building, anyway, seemed to be into and very loud for. So now, this was kind of the equivalent of what used to be the women's piss break match on these pay-per-views back in the day.
So
they would kind
bad,
of,
dude.
you know, put this in there as the second to last match, and everybody would be dead, and then for the main event, they would bring everybody back up. So these guys, unfortunately, and all four of these guys, actually Jordan wasn't, but 3 of the 4, were in the Royal Rumble match. So now they're pulling double duty here. People already saw them. They already made their entrances. This was the second go-around for them. People just were not into this. I was exhausted after watching the Rumble, so was Philadelphia. And Jason Jordan went into this match with an injury. I'm not sure what kind of injury it is, but he's hurt. And he wasn't really able to do much. He hasn't worked. I don't really think he's worked any house show matches now in 2 weeks. So how seriously hurt he is, I don't know. But Rollins worked the majority of the match. I mean, we basically got a second handicap match on this show. We had the opening match, and then this basically was a handicap match. Now, Rollins eventually got to the corner, and Jordan tagged himself in. Jordan, I think what happened was Jordan, I believe, had been sent into the post. And so he was all groggy, and he was almost acting like he might be concussed. So he wasn't in the ring very long. He tagged right back out. Ended up taking a seat on the ring steps outside to sort of collect himself. And that left Seth all by himself. And Seth was trying to get his attention, come back in, help me, and Jordan was just sitting there doing, you know, minding his own business. Left Rollins to the wolves. Rollins got bro kicked. And then Cesaro and Sheamus executed a double team white noise. And Cesaro pinned Seth Rollins to win their 4th tag team titles. And although according to the WWE Twitter account, they are now 3-time tag team champions. So between this and the Royal Rumble botch with Austin on the pre-show, WWE doesn't seem to know what they're talking about. But they are 4-time tag team champions. This was not a good match, although I think it just really suffered because of it came after the men's Rumble match. If this match, you know, had people behind it and had a lot of energy behind it and was in a different spot on the show, it probably would have been a lot better. But the fact that Jordan didn't really do anything, and Jordan's pretty good. I mean, when Jordan gets going with the suplexes and all that, he's actually pretty good. So you take him out of the match, you take the crowd out of the match, you already saw these guys. This was not good. This was very disappointing. Speaking of disappointing, and I know some people are going to disagree with me on this, but I don't care. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. I did not like this match. This was Brock Lesnar, Braun Strowman, and Kane. Triple threat match for the Universal Championship. Strowman was a wild beast from the start of this match. He gave Brock a very stiff knee to the temple that seemed to connect a little bit more than he should have. And I think Brock cussed him out because they muted the audio for a few seconds. Brock looked like he was cursing him out, and he gave him a receipt. He retaliated with a right hand to the side of the head. So these guys were beating the hell out of each other. Now, the way this went was, you know, there's no disqualifications in a triple threat match, so you can bring in chairs and tables and all sorts of weapons, which is what they did. They brought in chairs, tables got involved, guys went through tables, the announce tables outside the ring. Lesnar was, you know, doling out the German suplexes and doling out the F5s, which didn't look particularly impressive, especially when he would hit it on Kane. So there were a lot of broken tables, guys going through like the announce tables outside the ring. Braun had Brock back in the ring, gave him 2 power slams. I was going to say running power slams, but he didn't run. I mean, I guess with all the debris, there was no room to run. He just sort of picked him up and gave him 2 power slams. And seemingly had the match won. Kane broke it up. He hit Braun with a chair. And Brock ended up throwing Kane into Braun. And he hit an F5 on Kane and got the pin, which was not a shock at all because I think most people predicted that Kane was only in this match for one reason, and that was to eat the pin so that they could protect Braun and Braun didn't have to take the fall. And that's exactly what happened. And when the match was over, Braun was pissed off. He's yelling at Brock from the aisleway, "You didn't beat me, you didn't beat me." And that was it. Now, it did what it was supposed to do, which was to protect Braun and have Kane eat the fall. And that's exactly what happened, but this was nothing special at all. I know some of you enjoyed the Crash TV aspect of it, you know, a bunch of broken tables. Who cares? This was disappointing. This was certainly a far cry from the last time we saw Brock in a 3-man Royal Rumble, which was 3 years ago. That was one of the best matches all year. This wasn't even the best match of the night.
God damn it.
So maybe our expectations were different, but I wasn't impressed by any of this at all. And actually, some of the stuff was sloppy. There was one point where Braun, I think Kane shoved Braun into a table that was kind of stacked up in the corner, and it was just very awkward. And Braun almost like ran himself into the table, and Cole had it covered for it. He's like, "Well, Braun saw it coming." I'm like, "No shit, he saw it coming. He ran into it." I don't know, just not good. Not good. But again, they protected Braun, which was the goal. And all the rumors now that he may transition into a feud with Miz for the Intercontinental title heading into WrestleMania, which I talked about on the podcast this weekend. I'm okay with that. I actually think it's a good idea. And on the show, I go into why. I'm not going to rehash it here, but this was a letdown. They closed the show out with the first ever 30-woman Royal Rumble match. Maria Menounos was there as the guest ring announcer to introduce Stephanie McMahon as the guest commentator. And the Raw and SmackDown Women's Champions, Alexa Bliss and Charlotte, were also at ringside. They were sitting there watching the match. Michael Cole, almost immediately on commentary, talking about how Stephanie is a trailblazer for the women's revolution. As somebody tweeted me, gagged me with a spoon. I will say this, though. Stephanie, when this was over, I was actually shocked that Stephanie did not get involved in the match. I thought for sure she's going to be part of the match. She's going to pull a Jerry Lawler. The buzzer's going to go off. Number 29, number 30. She's going to rise and get in the ring, and she didn't. And she didn't. And even on commentary, I wouldn't call her great, but you know, she wasn't offensive. She wasn't cringeworthy. Believe me, I've heard worse commentary before on WWE shows. She was inoffensive to me, so that was actually a relief. Sasha Banks drew number 1 in the Royal Rumble match. Becky Lynch was number 2. The two of them had a great match back in the day at one of the NXT TakeOver shows. It's been a while since I've seen the two of them in the ring together, so they opened the show, or the match here, I should say. Oh. Sarah Logan of the Riot Squad drew number...
I'm gonna check my water. Oh. Oh.
3. We had Mandy Rose of Absolution coming out at number 4. Lita was number 5, the first big surprise of the women's match. And that goes, you know, I thought that might be the case. I was talking when I was doing the Royal Rumble predictions. I said, you know, she was very conspicuous by her absence at Raw 25 last week. You know, in Brooklyn when they trotted out all the women, and Trish Stratus was there, and Michelle McCool was there, and there was no Lita. Even though she was on the commemorative chairs, she was part of the artwork and everything else. It was very odd, and she even said on social media she wasn't even invited. And it was very weird. I thought, well, maybe the only explanation I could come up with is maybe they just wanted to save her as a surprise for the Royal Rumble match, and that's exactly what they did. So she came out, got a great reaction, and she seemed to be blown away by it. Kairi Sane from NXT was number 6. And I think they even brought back her original music. I'm pretty sure the music she came out to was the original music that she used in the Mae Young Classic, which I love that music, and I hate that new music they gave her, so I'm pretty sure that was the old music. But she was able to hit the elbow, the big elbow smash off the top. She hit the elbow on Sasha, she hit the elbow on Becky, so that was very cool to see. Tamina was in at number 7 to ruin the mood. Lita hit a double moonsault to Sasha and Becky, who were lined up next to one another. She got a "You Still Got It" chant. I'm just watching this thinking this woman almost killed herself doing this moonsault. Did. She almost undershot it and like landed on her neck. I was like, oh my god, that was almost a disaster. So yeah, she hit it, but yikes! That you know, an extra inch or two, and that would have ended very badly for her.
She did not
Lita then eliminated Tamina, and then Becky dumped Lita, which made Becky a heel for all of 5 seconds. People were not happy about that. I wasn't happy about that either. We got no Trish and Lita spot here in this match. That's bullshit. That's what that is. I can't believe that.
Trish and Mickey, their feud was better.
Once in this match. We had Dana Brooke out at number 8. She eliminated Kairi Sane. Dana Brooke eliminated Kairi Sane. I don't even want to live on this planet anymore. Be Still My Heart. Tori Wilson was out at number 9. Looking tremendous.
Scrumptious. Good.
Sonya Deville of Absolution was number 10. Liv Morgan of the Riot Squad was number 11. Molly Holly was number 12. She was one of the ones I said on the podcast I was hoping we would see her. And there she was. She looked good. She looked, in terms of the moves and everything else, you know, she did pretty good. She even hit the Molly go-round cannonball off the top onto Sasha. Lana was number 13. Loud chants of Rusev Day when she came out. The entire building erupted into Rusev Day chants. Michelle McCool was out at number 14, according to WWE, one of the greatest female superstars of all time, Michelle McCool. She came out to chants of Undertaker. She eliminated a bunch of people. She was like the Undertaker in this match. She dumped out like at least 3 or 4 different people, including Lana and Molly Holly. Ruby Riott was out number 15. Vicky Guerrero, shrieking on the microphone, doing her whole "excuse me" shtick, came out at number 16. She was promptly dumped out by the rest of the women. Carmella was out at number 17. As Vicky was leaving, she grabbed the Money in the Bank briefcase and just flattened Carmella with it, left her laying. Natalya was number 18. Kelly was number 19. Naomi entered at number 20. Jacqueline was number 21. Nia Jax was number 22. She eliminated Naomi, or so we thought. Naomi was sort of the Kofi Kingston of the Royal Rumble match here. So what happened is Nia throws Naomi out of the ring, and there's a bunch of women outside. They catch Naomi, and she ends up landing safely on the barricade. So now she's straddling the barricade, trying to figure out what the hell am I going to do here. She ends up walking the barricade over to where the timekeeper, the ring announcer is, and Maria Menounos is sitting in a chair. And it looks like she's trying to take a selfie of herself. And Naomi's basically like, get the hell out of the way, woman. I'm like, trying to get back into the ring here. So Maria gets up, and Naomi gets in the chair. And she has her feet up on the chair, and she sort of pedals with her hands on the ground. She pedals herself over to the ring steps and makes it safely to the ring steps. Everybody cheers. Everybody's all impressed. And so naturally, as soon as she gets in, she got dumped out like 10 seconds later. Ember Moon was number 23. Her injured arm was all wrapped up from her match with Shayna Baszler the night before. the Glamazon, Beth Phoenix, was a surprise here in this Rumble, number 24. She went, and she looked great. She actually did not, you know, some of the women get in there, they look a little bit different. They're older, or their hairstyle is different or whatever. She looked like she was out of a time warp. She looked exactly the same way that she did the last time we saw her on WWE television. So she comes in there and goes face to face with Nia Jax, and everybody is going crazy. I think they were starting a yes chant. We had Natty and Beth teaming up, right? They were partners. They were a unit back in the day, best friends. They hug, they embrace. And you can see this coming from a mile away, but Natty then turns on Beth Phoenix and eliminates her. Asuka entered at number 25. It was all but over at that point. Asuka comes in. We got a little showdown with Asuka and Ember Moon. And what was really cool about this is the place went crazy. Right? So that was a whole big feud in NXT. You never really know how the crowd, as far as these main roster crowds, are going to respond. Probably a lot of left. Were NXT fans from the night before because they knew exactly what the history was between these two women, and they went crazy like this was a really big deal. And we had Ember Moon hitting a one-armed eclipse from the top rope onto Asuka. The one thing about this I didn't like, now Ember ended up getting eliminated here by Asuka, but what I didn't like is, we talk about no-selling her big move, right? So one-armed or not, she hits the move. She hits her finish. She hits the eclipse. And 5 seconds later, Asuka's up like nothing ever happened. That I thought was stupid. So anyway, Ember is eliminated. Mickie James comes out number 26. We had Nikki Bella out at number 27 to John Cena sucks chants from the crowd. Brie Bella was out at number 28. We had Bayley entering the Rumble at number 29, which left one spot remaining. And so again, it's like, who's it gonna be? Is it gonna be Stephanie? Is it gonna be Ronda Rousey? Is it gonna be Trish Stratus? I mean, I figured at that point it was gonna be Trish, and sure enough, it was. Trish Stratus entered at number 30. We got a Trish and Mickie James stare down to a big pop from the crowd. So we didn't get to see Trish and Lita in the ring, but at least we got Trish and Mickie. And I could be wrong about this, but I could have sworn that I saw Trish almost like mocking the hand gesture that, if you remember the hand gesture that Mickie did during their match at WrestleMania 22, which is edited now off most WWE DVDs. I don't know if it's on the network. My guess is they probably edited it off the network. You guys know what I'm talking about. It almost looked like Trish was sort of like mimicking or miming that, but the camera didn't either cut away or didn't really get a good view. So we haven't forgotten. So that was really cool to see the two of them go back and forth, and she ended up dumping Mickie. So Sasha Banks dumped out her best friend Bayley, because again, it's every woman for herself. We got a glimpse of the old boss, the old Sasha Banks here from NXT, the heel, Sasha Banks. She's trash-talking Asuka. She's trash-talking everybody, actually, including Trish Stratus. But she's trash-talking Asuka, and she's, you know, ganging up on her with the Bella Twins. They're all kicking Asuka's ass. And Sasha goes to set Asuka up in the corner for the double knees. She goes up, and when she jumps up for the double knees, the Bellas catch her in midair and throw her out to the floor. So now we're down to the Bella Twins and Asuka. Brie, I forgot how, Brie somehow ended up over the top on the apron. Nikki knocked her sister on purpose. This was not an accident. She knocked her sister off the apron. much to the surprise of the announcers. Everybody acts all surprised. But this is the same woman who once told her sister that she wished she died in the womb. Okay, this should come as a surprise to nobody that she would do this. So it comes down to Nikki and Asuka. And I think this is great, because it's obvious at this point Nikki's not winning this match. But you want to get maximum heel heat, right? People are projecting onto Nikki Bella here. I mean, the woman came out the chance of John Cena sucks for some reason. They knew what they were doing by having her in there in the end with Asuka. So I thought that was actually kind of genius, because they knew it was going to be a huge reaction when she ultimately dumped her out, which it was. They ended up on the apron, right? They had both gone over the top. So they're on the apron. Both of them were in jeopardy of being eliminated here. Asuka got knocked down, but she kicks the legs out from underneath Nikki. It knocks her off the apron, sends her to the floor, and Asuka wins the first ever Women's Royal Rumble match. So they bring Charlotte and Alexa into the ring for Asuka to choose which championship she wants to go after at WrestleMania. People very clearly were hoping that she would pick Charlotte, and that is obviously the much bigger match than Asuka and Alexa. I don't know, I shouldn't say nobody wants to see it, but I think very few people would choose Asuka and Alexa over Asuka and Charlotte. So that's the match that most people wanted to see. All of a sudden, before she can make her decision, all of a sudden, Ronda Rousey walks out to a pretty nice ovation actually from the crowd. She's wearing Roddy Piper's leather jacket. Apparently Piper's son gave the jacket to her, so that really was his. She got into the ring and she went to go shake Asuka's hand, but Asuka slapped it away. Everybody went, ooh. See, there's another match I'd like to see. Asuka and Rousey. Right? I mean, Asuka's been using that armbar now for the last couple of months. It almost seems like they've been setting up for that. But she slaps the hand away. Ronda then very awkwardly looks up at the WrestleMania sign. Yes, it is back. WrestleMania sign is up in the arena, up in the rafters. She looks up at the WrestleMania sign and she points. Because that's what you're taught to do in WWE. You have to look and you have to point. And you have to hold that pose in very awkward fashion. Welcome to WWE, Ronda Rousey. This was her initiation. You are now officially a WWE superstar. You are not a superstar until you point awkwardly at the WrestleMania sign. And then she left the ring and she had a tense handshake at ringside with Stephanie McMahon before walking out. Now, I know there's going to be a lot of hate on Ronda, taking away from Asuka's big moment here at the end and diverting attention to what should have been her big celebration. But I thought what they did here was actually really smart. I thought it was kind of genius, actually. You don't give away Asuka's choice yet, right? We already know Nakamura's choice. He already picked his champion. So, at least here now, you've got the intrigue with Ronda. What's her role at WrestleMania going to be? Obviously, she's going to be there. Why would you give away Asuka's choice now? Why wouldn't you milk it? They can milk this now for ratings, and they can milk it for intrigue heading into WrestleMania. Because I suspect we're not going to get a decision this week either.
Yes, all of it.
Right? They're going to milk this thing for all it's worth. I think it would have been stupid for them to give it away tonight. So I actually think it was really smart. I know people are going to be really frustrated by it, but it's a smart move. Michael Cole then he's plugging a major announcement. Go on social media, there's a major announcement, which was ESPN reporting that Ronda Rousey has signed a full-time deal with WWE. We still don't know what that means. I mean, I doubt that she's going to be working house shows, for example. Maybe she's got a Brock Lesnar type deal. I don't know, but it says a full-time contract with WWE. The quote from Ronda reads as follows. She says, "This is my life now. First priority on my timeline for the next several years. This is not a smash and grab. This is not a publicity stunt. When I first met with Triple H, I told him there are other things I can do with my time that'll make me way more money, but I won't enjoy nearly as much." So it sounds like she's all in. And I don't mean the Cody Rhodes show that they're doing later this year. She's all in here with WWE. We know she's a big wrestling fan. She's been to WWE shows and PWG shows. And so she's a legit fan, and she wants in, and she's been training now for a number of months. We know that. Her friend Shayna Baszler now is in the mix down in NXT. She's in the mix too now. What her role is going to be at WrestleMania, I don't know.
All I
Obviously,
need is
she's
an
going to be
iron
wrestling.
bar.
I don't think it's a Mike Tyson situation where she's going to be a referee. But I also, it doesn't look like we're having like a horsewomen tag team match, which we rumored at one point. Shane is kind of doing her own thing down in NXT. So if it's a singles match, is it a tag team match? I don't know. That's part of the intrigue. Maybe it's a multi-woman match. Maybe they do a fatal four-way. Maybe we get Charlotte and Alexa and Asuka and Ronda Rousey, because maybe that's the way that you use her. Maybe you want to hide her weaknesses by putting her in a multi-women match, so she's not sort of exposed in a singles match. I don't know how good she is. I haven't seen her wrestle a match yet. Nobody has. But she's a big name. And you could say that she's past her prime. She lost her last couple of fights. She didn't look good. Ronda Rousey is still a major name. It's already plastered all over the place, even in just the last half hour. ESPN and all these other sports websites. So WWE is getting...
Didn't make a lot of money. What are we sitting at? About 2 hours? I think this is a good time to stop. Yeah, it's a good time to stop. We've been streaming for 2 hours. Come on to the break. Get something to eat. Go ahead and exit. Maybe watch NXT TakeOver. Alright, so with that being a thing, as always, thanks for hanging out, boys. Those of you who are just watching and chilling, thank you. Appreciate the views. I will see you guys later. I'll be going back to work, so I won't be here for a few days. Thanks for chilling, man. See you guys later.